Hey everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Working Class Music. I'm one of your hosts, Jason, and on this week's episode, we're going to pose two questions. One, what is a recording interface? And two, is a $500 recording interface worth the money? Short answer for the second question, when it's the UA Apollo Solo, yes.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
Firstly, I would like to thank our friends at Universal Audio, in particular Jason, for sending us out a review unit of the Apollo Solo. I've been using this since the middle of December, and before that, I was using my good old trusty Apogee Duet. I've recorded many of demos with this. Pretty much been an Apogee guy most of my recording life. With that said, in an effort to be transparent, just because we get a review unit doesn't necessarily mean we're being paid or anything like that. One of the things about this channel that we wanted to do is provide advice for everybody, not paid advice or anything like that. So if we get a product to review, whether we buy it ourselves or a company lends us a review unit, if we don't like it and we don't think it's worth your time or your money, we won't review it at all, period. So let's talk about the interface. But before that, let's answer the first question. What is a recording interface? So what is a recording interface? What is a recording interface? Well, according to our friends at B&H Photos, a recording interface is a piece of hardware that expands and improves the sonic capabilities of your computer. Some audio interfaces give you the ability to connect professional microphones and other kinds of instruments. TLDR, it's a super high quality external sound card that lets you record. So if you're getting into recording, you're going to need a recording interface. Now, since we answered the first question, back to the second question, which brings me to the Apollo Solo. The Apollo Solo is a high quality recording interface. What makes the Apollo Solo worth the $500 asking price, you may ask? Well, let's talk about what the Apollo Solo is. The Apollo Solo is a Thunderbolt 3 bus-powered 2x4 recording interface with 2 unison mic pre's and a 24-bit 192 kilohertz audio conversion. That's technobabble for it sounds really, really good. So let's talk about some of the features. The Apollo Solo features unison mic preamps and guitar amp emulations from Neve, API, Manley, Marshall, Fender, and many, many more. Real-time UAD processing allows for narrow zero latency tracking with UAD plugins and effects, regardless of the software buffer setting. Basically, you can run these plugins on this interface without taxing your CPU. Now, onto the plugins. UAD has some of the best plugins in the game. Also, if you couldn't tell by the massive amount of brand drops, they're one of the few companies that actually have licensed these plugins from their original manufacturer. One of my favorites being the Space Echo or the Marshall Plexi, but more on that in a little bit. Arguably, the biggest feature outside of the plugins and the interface itself, which is a recent addition as of last year, I believe, is the Luna recording system. While not called a DAW, it's a DAW. UA calls it a recording system. It's a DAW. However, unlike most DAWs that come with lower end interfaces like Pro Tools First, Ableton Live Lite, GarageBand, or Studio One Prime, which are free or come with lower end interfaces, it's a full featured DAW that doesn't limit the track count and it lets you use outside plugins. Luna is a full featured recording system. It's a DAW. But we're going to talk more about Luna in a future episode that's going to be pretty DAW based because it's a DAW. So how do the plugins sound? In 2 words, fucking amazing. So upon receiving this interface, I plugged it up and installed everything. Plugins, Luna, everything. I started messing around in Logic since that's my DAW of choice, and I started messing with a couple of the plugins. The first one was the Marshall Plexi. Plugged it up, or can't plug up a plugin. I opened up a few sessions and I kind of just took the guitar rig that I was using, which was Guitar Rig, and replaced the amp with that. Needless to say, I was amazed at what UAD had managed to pull off. Like, this thing sounded like a Marshall Plexi. It improved my recording quality that much more. I wasn't expecting that. Truthfully, I was not expecting that. I was not expecting it to sound anywhere like its tube counterpart, but it did. Then I decided to mess around with the Ampeg SVT plugin, and that is where I was really blown away. Same session file I opened up. I replaced the guitar rig with the Ampeg. I was amazed. Some of the bass tones that I've been trying to emulate for the longest, like Sigur Rós, who are known for that massive fat post-rock bass tone, or This Will Destroy You, or even Radiohead, that Ampeg got me there. Considering that this is all in a digital environment, what UAA has managed to do in a digital format is beyond impressive. Now, the cons. Personally, it's not a con for me because I'm a bit of an Apple fanboy, but if you're not using a computer that has either USB-C or Thunderbolt 3, then this interface isn't really going to work for you. In short, it's not compatible. Also, as of the recording of this video, it's still not supported on the M1 Max. So if you have a brand new Mac Mini, MacBook Air, or MacBook Pro, can't really use it. But that will change in time. Lastly, my only other con is this thing comes loaded with all of the UAD plugins. That's not really a con. However, when you can only use 6 of them and the rest are just demos, kind of gets a little bit tedious when you're trying to insert a plugin and you have to scroll through all of them. Overall, would I say the Apollo Solo is worth the asking price? Yeah, absolutely. Considering everything you're getting feature-wise, you get a full featured DAW, you get several high-quality plugins, and you get a high-quality interface. If you were to buy something like the Focusrite Solo, then buy Logic, and then buy several comparable plugins, you'd be well over the $500 asking price. So if I had to score this, I would say it gets 9 out of 10 Baby Yodas. So that's been my review / experience with the Apollo Solo. Thanks for checking us out. Bear in mind, as of the recording of this video, we're still giving away a HomePod Mini. So how do you enter that? Well, you subscribe and then you like, comment, and if you want, ring that little bell notification. Let us know how we're doing. Once we hit 1,000 subscribers, we'll give it away. With that said, this has been Working Class Music. I've been your host, not Anthony Fantano. I still haven't thought of a catchphrase to end this. What's a popular saying now? Just leave us one in the comments. I really need this. So may the force be with you. Live long and prosper. You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Here's a lot written.